If the ritual didn't work, why do they still want her life? That's the question Chioma has been asking herself for the past month. You see, she went in for power, for success. She actually went in to become like her boss. But she didn't get any of it. And now, the dark entities she made deals with, they are coming to collect anyway. And the shocking part is, she has 35 days left. This is her story. And I need you to comment below and tell me, if the ritual didn't work, why do they still want her life? Because maybe, just maybe, someone in the comments has an answer that could save her. Chioma is 32 years old, works in Lagos, sells hair. You know the business, Brazilian hair, Peruvian bundles, lace front wigs, makeup kits, women's clothing. All of that. She's not the owner of the shop. She's a senior sales girl. Been doing it for 8 years. Good at her job. Makes decent money. Has her own apartment. Drives a small car. Not struggling, but not balling either. Her boss, Mrs. Addis. That's a different story. Now, Mrs. Addis has 3 shops. One in Lekki, one in Six, one in Ikeja. Drives a Range Rover. Lives in a luxurious mansion. Wears designer everything. Travels to Dubai every 2 months to buy hair directly. And here's the thing, Mrs. Addis started this business only 6 years ago. 6 years. Chioma had been selling hair for 2 years before Mrs. Addis even opened her first shop. So how did Mrs. Addis overtake her like that? That's what Chioma couldn't understand. That's what ate at her every single day. The thing is, she'd watch Mrs. Addis pull up to the shop in that Range Rover. Watch her walk in wearing Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton. Watch customers flock to her like she had some kind of magic. And Chioma would think, I work harder than her. I know this business better than her. I've been doing this longer. So why is she up there and I'm down here? That brings us to what caused this whole chapter of her life we are about to know. You see, in this life, jealousy can become the demon that will eventually destroy you. Jealousy is a terrible thing. But jealousy mixed with desperation, that's deadly. Because by 2023, Chioma wasn't just jealous anymore. She was desperate. Her rent kept going up. Her car kept breaking down. Customers were getting harder to find. Competition was everywhere. Every girl on Instagram was selling hair now. Meanwhile, Mrs. Addis was opening a 4th shop. Chioma started asking around. How does Mrs. Addis do it? How did she blow up so fast? Most people said hard work, smart business, good connections. But one person, someone who knows how these business moves are done, pulled Chioma aside and whispered. You really want to know? It's not hard work. It's help. Spiritual help. And that's where it started. Chioma has this friend. Her name is Pastor Blessing. They went to secondary school together. Stayed in touch over the years. Close friends. Pastor Blessing runs a small ministry. Not a big church, one of those storefront churches in Suralia. She preaches on Sundays, does deliverance sessions during the week. Chioma trusted her, loved her, saw her as a woman of God. So when Chioma was going through her crisis, jealous of her boss, desperate for breakthrough, she called Pastor Blessing. They met for lunch at a book call in Yoba. Chioma poured her heart out. Told Pastor Blessing everything, the jealousy, the frustration, how she felt stuck while Mrs. Addis was flying. I just need help, Chioma said. I need breakthrough. I've been praying, but nothing is changing. I need something to shift. Pastor Blessing listened. Then she said something Chioma wasn't expecting. Prayer is good, but sometimes, you need more than prayer. You need power. Chioma looked at her. Confused. What do you mean? Pastor Blessing told her that there are levels to this thing. Some people succeed because they work hard, fine. But the people at the very top, the ones who blow up fast, they have access to power that regular people don't have. Chioma wanted to know the kind of power she was talking about. And Pastor Blessing told her that, yes indeed it's spiritual power, but not the kind we pray for in church. The kind you acquire. You see one thing, when you hear a pastor talking about other power outside of the name and Bible he or she uses, then you should run away. But Chioma didn't run, but instead, she wanted to know more. Because Pastor Blessing said the one thing Chioma had been dying to hear. I know someone who can help you. A senior prophet. Very powerful. Very connected. He's helped a lot of people get to where they want to be, including some pastors you'd recognize. Chioma at this point was all in for it. She wanted to make sure she would also fly high, so she wanted to know if it was safe. Pastor Blessing smiled. You have to be ready to do what's required. This isn't regular church prayer. This is real power, the kind that changes things fast. Chioma sat there, thinking, torn. Part of her knew this sounded wrong. Part of her knew Pastor Blessing, a pastor, shouldn't be talking like this. But the other part, the desperate part, the jealous part. That part said, just try it. What do you have to lose? 2 weeks later, Pastor Blessing took Chioma to meet the senior prophet. His name is Prophet Chukwudi. That's what they call him. He doesn't have a church. Doesn't preach on Sundays. Doesn't do crusades or social media. He operates from a house in Festac. Big compound, high fence. Gate always locked. Security at the entrance. Pastor Blessing drove Chioma there on a Thursday evening, around 7 p.m. Inside the compound, there were about 6 or 7 other people waiting, sitting in the veranda, quiet. Some looked nervous. Others looked like they'd been there before. Chioma and Pastor Blessing sat down, waited. Around 8 p.m., Prophet Chukwudi came out. Tall man, maybe late 50s. Well-dressed, white kaftan, gold watch, expensive shoes. The kind of person who walks into a room and everyone shuts up. He didn't greet anyone. Just looked at the people waiting and said, "Who is new?" Chioma raised her hand. He stared at her, not smiling, not frowning. Just staring. Like he was reading her. Then he said, "Come inside." Chioma followed him into the house. Pastor Blessing stayed outside. The room he took her to was different. It wasn't an office. It wasn't a living room. It looked like a shrine. Candles everywhere. Incense burning. Red and black cloth draped on the walls. Small wooden figurines on shelves, African deities. Bowls with liquids in them. A large mirror on one wall covered with a cloth. Prophet Chukwudi sat down and said, he just started talking. "You're jealous of someone, a woman. She's more successful than you. You want what she has. You're desperate." Chioma's eyes went wide. She hadn't told him anything. Pastor Blessing must have briefed him beforehand, or something else told him. "I can help you," he said, "but you need to understand something. What I do is not church work. What I do is different. Older. More direct." Chioma obviously wanted to know more. He leaned back in his chair. In this life, there are 2 ways to get power. You can beg God for it, pray, fast, hope he says yes. That takes time. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Or you can take it from sources that are willing to give it immediately, guaranteed. Chioma knew what he was talking about. She wasn't stupid. He was talking about deals with spirits, with entities, with things that aren't God. He again said one more thing that made Chioma felt her own time to success has come. He told her that, "Your boss, Mrs. Addis, you think she got where she is through hard work." Chioma stared at him. "She's been moving from one spiritual man to the other and you have no idea the things she has been doing for the sake of her business." And just like that, Chioma's last bit of resistance crumbled. If Mrs. Addis did it, if that's how she became successful, then why shouldn't Chioma do the same? "What do I need to do?" Chioma asked. Prophet Chukwudi smiled for the first time. "There will be rituals. There will be payments. Not money, well, some money for my services. But the real payment will be something else. The entities I work with, they require offerings. That depends on what you want. For business success, wealth, influence, they usually ask for sacrifices. Sometimes animals. Sometimes other things. It always works, as long as you follow the instructions exactly." Chioma thought about it. Thought about Mrs. Addis' Range Rover, her mansion, her 3 shops soon to be 4. Thought about her own struggling business. Her jealousy, her desperation. "Okay," she said. "I do it." And that's when her countdown started. She just didn't know it yet. The ritual started the following week. Prophet Chukwudi told Chioma she needed to come back 3 times. 3 separate rituals, each one building on the last. First ritual was cleansing. He made her bathe with specific herbs at midnight. Told her to collect the water after and pour it at a crossroads, naked. At 3 a.m., she did it. Drove to a quiet junction in a corridor, middle of the night, stripped down. Poured the water, got dressed, drove home. Felt insane doing it, but she did it anyway. Then the second ritual, this was the covenant. This one was worse. Prophet Chukwudi took her to a forest, somewhere in Ogun State, middle of nowhere. There were other people there, men in traditional attire. A small shrine set up with candles, bowls, animal blood. He made Chioma kneel in front of the shrine. Made her repeat words in a language she didn't understand. Yoruba mixed with something else. Then he cut her palm. Let her blood drip into a bowl. Mixed it with something dark and thick. Made her drink it. He told her she has just made a covenant with the masters. They will give her what she wants, but she must honor her end when the time comes. That was when Chioma asked about her own end of the covenant. Still this time, the prophet did not tell her, but then told her that they'll tell her when they are ready. Then came the third ritual, activation. Back at his house in Festac. Just the two of them in that shrine room. He gave her a small wooden box. Inside were 3 items, a black stone, a red thread, a piece of paper with her name written in something that looked like blood. He told her to keep the box under her bed. Never open it. Never let anyone see it. Sleep with it under her bed every night for 21 days. After 21 days, the power will be fully activated. Your business will explode. Customers will come. Money will flow. You'll rise to the level you've been dreaming of. Chioma took the box home, put it under her bed, and she waited. Day 1, nothing. Day 5, nothing. Day 10, nothing. Day 21, the activation day. Nothing. Chioma waited another week, then 2 weeks, then a month. Nothing changed. Her business stayed the same. No explosion. No customers flooding in. No money flowing. The ritual didn't work. She called Pastor Blessing. It's not working. Nothing is happening. Pastor Blessing said, give it time. These things take time to manifest. Chioma waited another month. Still nothing. She went back to Prophet Chukudi, angry, frustrated, feeling scammed. You told me this would work. I did everything you said. I drank. I went to the forest. I kept that box under my bed. And nothing happened. Nothing changed. Prophet Chukudi looked at her calmly. The rituals were performed correctly. The covenant was made. Sometimes the masters choose not to grant the request. That's their prerogative. So I did all of that for nothing. She asked him. Not nothing. You made a covenant. Whether they gave you power or not, the covenant still stands. What does that mean? She asked him. Prophet Chukudi replied her, it means they'll still expect payment. Chioma was getting angry. She asked him, payment for what? They didn't give me anything. Prophet Chukudi said, that's between you and them. I'm just the middleman. He made her understand that. She wanted to scream, wanted to fight, wanted to demand her money back. But Prophet Chukudi just stood up and said, you should go home. And when they come for you, don't try to run. It only makes it worse. Chioma left that house shaking. That was 2 months ago. Last week, she started having the dreams. You see, the dream started on a Tuesday night. Chioma went to bed, fell asleep, and she saw them. 3 figures. No faces. Just shadows. They stood at the foot of her bed, staring at her. She couldn't move, couldn't scream, could only watch. One of them spoke, not with a mouth, it didn't have a mouth, but she heard the voice inside her head. Your time is coming. She woke up sweating, heart pounding, checked her room. No one there. Just a dream, she told herself. Just a bad dream. The next night, same thing. 3 figures. Same message. 34 days. She realized they were counting down. Every night, they came. Every night, the number dropped. Chioma stopped sleeping. Started staying up all night. Drinking coffee. Watching TV. Anything to avoid sleep. But when she finally passed out from exhaustion, they were there. Always counting down. Chioma tried everything. She went to prophets, pastors, traditional priests. Everyone said the same thing, the covenant is strong. We can try to break it, but no one could finish that sentence. Because no one believed she could be saved, she threw away the wooden box from under her bed, burned it. That night, the figures beat her in her sleep. She woke up with bruises all over her body. She went back to Pastor Blessing, the friend who introduced her to Prophet Chukudi. You did this to me. Chioma screamed. You took me to him. You ruined my life. Pastor Blessing looked at her with cold eyes. I gave you an opportunity. You took it. What happens after is on you. You're a pastor. You're supposed to help people, not send them to their deaths. I help people get what they want. You wanted success. I showed you the way. Not my fault it didn't work out for you. Pastor Blessing told her. Chioma left that church knowing she had no friends left. No one to turn to, just her. And the countdown. This morning marks the 35 days. And that's where we are now. Chioma has 35 days left. And she doesn't know what to do. Here's what Chioma knows now. What she's learned the hard way. When you make a covenant with dark entities, they don't care if you got what you wanted or not. They don't care if the ritual worked. They don't care if you changed your mind. They don't care if you're sorry. All they care about is collecting what you promised. And Chioma promised her life. She signed that contract the moment she drank that blood in the forest. The moment she let Prophet Chukudi cut her palm and mix her blood with whatever was in that bowl. The moment she kept that wooden box under her bed for 21 days. She opened the door. And now the things on the other side are coming through. People ask me, can she be saved? Is there hope? I don't know. Can God still rescue her? I want to say yes. I want to believe that God is bigger than any covenant. That prayer can break any chain. That Jesus' blood is stronger than whatever blood Chioma drank in that forest. But I've also seen enough of these cases to know, when you make certain deals, when you go certain places, when you invoke certain powers, getting out is not guaranteed. Some people escape. Some people get delivered. Some people find a prophet or a pastor powerful enough to break the covenant. But some people just run out of time. Chioma is not giving up. Not yet. She's visiting every church, every prayer mountain, every deliverance center she can find. Crying out to God. She's hoping that somewhere, someone has the answer. So this takes me back to the question I asked earlier. If the ritual didn't work, if she didn't get the power, the success, the wealth she was promised, why do they still want her life? Is it because the covenant is the covenant, regardless of results? Is it because she opened a door and now she can't close it? Is it because dark entities are liars and they never intended to give her anything? Comment below. Tell me what you think. And maybe, just maybe, someone in these comments knows something that could help her. To everyone watching. To everyone tempted to take shortcuts. To everyone jealous of someone else's success. Whatever you're going through, whatever you want, whatever you're desperate for. It's not worth this. It's not worth 35 days. It's not worth waking up every night to shadows counting down to your death. It's not worth losing your life for power you never even got. If you're watching this and you've made similar deals, if you've gone to similar prophets, if you're in a similar countdown, I don't have answers for you. But I'll tell you what I told Chioma, run to God. Not to another prophet. Not to another ritual. Not to another senior man of God who promises quick fixes. Run to the real God. The one who doesn't demand your blood for blessings. It might be too late. It might not. But it's the only chance you've got.